Hello, everybody. Hello, Lennon.
I'm so excited.
Yippee!
This
is
about
Hesher Lennon. Oh, yeah. Talk about what? What are we talking about?
I think we're talking about Star Wars.
Oh my God. All right, we're doing a new little series called Does This Movie Still Hold Up? We're going to look at some movies from our childhood or earlier. I mean, when was this movie out? The 70s? I'm not that old. Lennon might be.
Hey, what the fuck, dude?
You dropped out on my end. That was
I moisturize. I look after myself. I don't look like I'm that old, right?
No, you look good. You look good. Your hairline's just as strong as it was when I met you.
Thanks, man. You're the wind beneath my wings.
But yeah, we are. So the first couple movies that we're going to look at is the original trilogy of Star Wars, the Tridge. So first up on the chopping block, and we decide if it's good or not. This movie that's fairly universally loved is A New Hope, Episode 4. This is how I learnt my Roman numerals, by the way. This
oh, really?
film series. Yeah. They don't really teach it in school, and like. I constantly ask Dad, what the hell is that? Why is it, what, V? I've forgotten it now.
Is that
anyway.
You dropped out when you were in grade 6?
Okay. Well, that wasn't meant for the internet.
Oh, okay. So I guess what we're trying to do is we're just trying to revisit these like iconic movies from pretty much any era, I guess, but just to see if they still hold up today.
And I think we're starting off in the right zone. Like, I mean, what does every boy do when they grab anything like a broom or a large stick? What sound effect do you make intuitively? Do it. Do the sound. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I passed the test.
That sort of sucked, but like.
Oh, what the fuck?
All right, I'll try. Is that it? No, that was a truck.
I don't think that was it either.
Yeah, okay. Well, you try to make the noises. But yeah, so we start off with one of the most iconic series. Just for anyone that has been living under a rock. Quick plot point of the story, we're not going to cover this too much, but space farm boy, Luke Skywalker discovers a hidden message from Princess Leia, and he joins forces with an old Obi-Wan Kenobi to rescue her from the evil empire, the space Nazis. Alongside a smuggler, Han Solo, and his allies, he helps destroy the big old Death Star, a massive space station capable of obliterating planets. In the end, Luke learns about the Force and is a hero, and he learns about friendship. That's this whole movie.
You know what I learned about
what
this?
What did you learn?
I learned about Luke by rewatching this movie, Hesher, that Luke is a fucking simp.
Okay. Rewatching this movie, and we'll get to what we ultimately think at the end, but rewatching this movie, he's a bit of a whiny twink.
Oh, dude. But I was going to go to Toshi Station for the power converters. Uncle Owen. Oh.
That is the quote I have. I only have 2 notes on this about Luke. I only have 2 notes, and that is a whiny twink, and then I've got in quotations, but I was going to go to Tadashi Station to pick up some power converters. Like,
it's when he is like trying to fix the restraining belt on R2-D2 or whatever it is, and then the Princess Leia message pops up. He's just like, oh, hubba. He's like, oh, is there more? Is there more of this? For no reason, of course, but is there any more of this message?
Fairly consistently throughout the movie, he doesn't really give a fuck about R2-D2. Like,
no, God no. There's like another point later on the movie where Han and Leia, they're kind of just like rubbing each other the wrong way, I guess. And then she turns to Luke and she's like, oh, your friend here only seems to care about himself. And then he's like, oh, well, I care, Princess Leia. And it's just like, shut up, Luke. You're not helping yourself.
That's your sister. You don't know it yet, but no, Luke. Don't do it.
But I don't know. I guess just overall, like, what do you think of the characters in this movie?
Overall, I do like Luke. I do like Luke. But like, I think when going into this, watching this now, I really tried to just go in like erasing all Star Wars knowledge because George Lucas thought that this movie was going to be a flop. He did not know that there was going to be a whole universe from this. And in saying that, it's still such a rich movie. Like it's almost surprising to me that there was that attitude because there's so many things in this with the characters. Off the rip, it was so good to watch this movie and just be instantly reminded of why Darth Vader is one of the most iconic villains to ever exist.
Couldn't agree more.
His intro to this movie, walking in, snapping that dude's neck, he's calling the shots, he's threatening, he's got menace. You've got that score behind. Who does the score throughout this movie? It's John Williams. Amazing. Everything about this is great. Darth Vader's character design is timeless. That hasn't aged one bit. I mean, I love it. C-3PO, the robots sort of annoyed me a little. Maybe I really liked them as a kid. C-3PO is also, like Luke, written to be a gay man, I'm pretty sure. Like, what are your thoughts on the bots here?
Even as a kid, when I used to watch this, I think the intention behind the robots is that they're meant to be quite snappy and annoying and be bursting with personality, but it's just dialed up to 11, which is just really annoying. And maybe it's to make the human characters maybe a little bit more tolerable. I don't know.
Yeah, I sort of get why in that really cool trendy bar in Mos Eisley, why they're like, we don't allow your bot kind here. Like, I wouldn't if they were all like that.
Allowed.
Yeah, robo racist over here. Like, if they all acted like that, I'd be like, oh, what a vibe killer. I don't want C-3PO in here, man. But no, hilarious character. I mean, the robots are great, but like overall, I love all the characters within this, even the annoying ones. Obi-Wan.
He's such a senile old man.
I think he works great though. He fits that trope so good. His intro to the movie is hilarious.
So good.
I can't do it, but the thing he does to scare off the Tusken Raiders, I nearly pissed myself. Like, I was listening to it, I was like, dude, that is.
I think he's like trying to make a crate dragon noise or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like, what is that?
We haven't heard what a crate dragon sounds like at this point in the franchise. Like, we have no idea. It sounds ridiculous. But no, I really enjoy some bits. Like, I know maybe it wasn't fully fleshed out. Like, obviously the spoiler that we'll get into in future movies, but I really do enjoy the way that Obi-Wan talks about Anakin, you know, like Luke's father. I think that has aged great because it sort of gives like this context of he considers that person dead. I think that works really well. I think so many things about Obi-Wan's character works really well that I just didn't expect when I turned this movie on. Yeah.
So I mean, I guess just building on top of that, so I might jump in and share my thoughts on him. Well, not necessarily him, but I think this is just my thoughts on the movie as a whole. Mm-hmm. I think that in hindsight, with the prequel, like, it's so cool that there's basically a prequel trilogy that is kind of just built around this one throwaway line about the Clone Wars and all that stuff, and Anakin and all that, and a great TV series. Just putting that out there. Yeah, just putting it out there. Putting it out there. We're from, I guess, the future perspective with all this extra Star Wars content that we're now watching this movie, and all of this stuff has been fleshed out. It's really cool to just hear that there's a deeper context behind some of the conversations that are in just this initial movie. But one thing that I actually really admired when watching this movie again is just how much I feel like George Lucas and obviously everyone that worked on this movie just got it right the first time when it came to the characters, when it came to the design, when it came to the world building.
Dude, I almost forgot what all practical sets looked like.
Oh,
like,
man,
being in modern era cinema, I'm like, this all looks so rich and lived in.
Honestly incredible that nothing like this was really, at least from my current understanding, nothing was done like this at the time.
Actually,
like this.
the Dune books that this is all ripped off from is exactly what this was. So check
all right,
yourself
any kudos I was about to give, just fucking throw that out the window. George Lucas is a hack. But no, I genuinely think that it just nailed the vibe, and had they not nailed the vibe originally, I just don't think that we'd have this long-lasting series that has, lasted over almost 50 years at this point.
Yeah.
But as far as like character goes, kind of like what you touched on before with Luke, he is a bit of a whiny bitch in this story. Yeah, I think that he doesn't really get a lot of character development as much as, say, like Han does in this movie. Like Han is just like a really selfish scoundrel.
I really hope this guy doesn't have a horrible spin-off movie in the future and then gets killed by his son.
What beef do you have with the Solo movie? That's a good movie.
Okay, well, I guess we'll revisit that in the future.
Okay, I guess we will. But maybe just moving on a little bit further. So just talking about another thing that I noticed from this movie, I think the reason why this, spoiler for the end of this video, why I think this movie holds up so well is that it's just going at a breakneck pace. Like, something is always happening throughout the movie. And even if the characters are just chilling for like a minute or two, it's like, fuck, we've got another thing we've got to deal with. We've got another fire to put out. And I just think that works so well.
A small note, I will go off on two little tangents here, but but a small note on breakneck pace. Bro, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing for me to admit. I don't know if it's just maybe I had better reading comprehension as a child or if TikTok's ruined my attention span, but I genuinely struggled with the intro credits crawl.
Yeah.
I was reading it. I was like, oh my God, how did I ever read this as a kid?
They are pretty excruciating. They just go on and on and on.
First 10 seconds of the movie, I was like, oh, I'm fucked. Like, oh no.
You're like, oh man, I'm here to watch a movie. I'm not here to read.
Yeah, what is this nerd shit? Watching
Speaking
Star Wars.
of nerds, have you seen the Rebel Alliance's helmets? Like, you know, I feel like if I lived in this universe, I would like to think that I'd be a part of the Rebel Alliance, but man, did they not luck out when it came to their uniform. That's a
rule. Yeah, that's a rule that might have been established in this movie, but that's a rule that's in all cinema and maybe even world history. The bad guys look cool, you know, and the good guys look like lame nerds. All right, well, going off your point there, what do you think the breakneck pace of everything, and what do you think your favorite sequence in this movie was?
I'd say that my favorite sequence is when Han, Chewie, and Luke are just constantly having to improvise what their plan is, and it's just like, oh, there's the princess. Well, we've got to come up with a plan. Oh, here's the plan. This is what we're going to do. And then like Han's like talking to whichever generic Imperial officer is on the other end, and he's just like, oh, hey, everything's fine here. How are you? Oh, shit. And you can just feel how awkward it is.
Yeah, you've gone very micro on sequence. Okay, when I say a sequence, I've got a little idea of what I wanted to say.
All right, well, tell me what you're thinking.
But I think it's pretty much the same thing you just said, but larger and better, maybe. My favorite sequence is basically just everything to do with the initial Death Star raid.
Yeah.
That, like, because I didn't want to call that a scene. There's multiple scenes throughout that.
Sure.
It's the second act, I guess, is pretty much that. But I love how the characters are bouncing off each other in a really fun way. When Leia, Han, and Luke eventually meet up, they just work really well. The bot's struggling with backup when they think they've killed them in the pit. Everything works. You got a fleshed out idea of the stormtroopers and the other henchmen, and then it climaxes and finishes with the death of Obi-Wan. That's all great.
That's a great scene too.
That's my favorite part of the movie is just this section 2. I do think, I don't want to go against what you say because I do still agree, but I do think Act 3 maybe slows down a little bit, maybe just because it's right after this. But
no, well, I've got complaints about the final act. Yeah.
Well, yeah, go for it.
It's more specifically just to do with the ending. Like, everything about this movie is great, in my opinion. It does a really good job at setting up this world that we're, you know, people who watched it at the time, I'm so jealous that they would have had their minds blown in the cinema, but it does a really great job at that, but it doesn't do a good job at, I think, sticking the landing with the ending, because it just feels a little bit like generic and not personal, I guess. Like, I feel like...
Well, Darth Vader and Luke never talk to each other.
No, they just basically have like a dogfight in like these TIE fighters, and Vader just spins out into space. Yeah. Like, he's just like this cheesy villain of the week kind of thing. And that is odd for a villain
and a hero to not really directly interact with each other. I mean, that's nitpicking a little, but I did notice it on this watch.
Yeah, so I'd say that that's probably, and maybe it's something we've never really thought about in the past because we have grown up with the context of the original trilogy always being a trilogy.
Yeah, you just hop straight into the next movie.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe we just never really thought about it, but just trying to look at this movie as a solo movie, I didn't feel like that was satisfying. So I think that's probably my main issue with the ending, but I can understand, like, to be able to set up that Death Star run and all that stuff, like, I can understand how that probably slowed down a little bit because they had to do all that necessary build up towards that final climactic battle. But I guess my issue is that I just didn't find it all that climactic. That's all.
Yeah, that's the thing. And for a movie that I think sets things up so greatly, like everything that went on with Moff Tarkin taking out Alderaan.
Grand Moff Tarkin. Oh my God.
That brings the stakes up quite a lot. Like that I remember as a kid, I remember just thinking like, oh my God, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. It's like a real life event for me. That's a holy shit moment.
That's my 9/11. No, he's like, that guy is so good. Basically any of the Imperial officers in this movie are just so like mustache twirling evil villains. And Grand Moff Tarkin himself, he is so trigger happy. Like, even just with the context of Rogue One, he's like trying to blow up like Ben Mendelsohn or something like that. He's like, oh, I just want to fucking shoot this thing as much as I can. I gotta respect it. I gotta respect it.
Yeah, and like even just really quick on all the villains, I love like the way the dynamics all work, like just how imposing like Darth is, and how he sometimes almost seems second to Tarkin, but in a very different way. And,
it's almost like he challenges Vader, or he's like, your Force stuff is just some stupid religion bullshit.
I was about to say that meeting that they have with Moff and all the generals, they're giving Darth Vader a lot of shit. He does kill one of them, but like they're giving Darth Vader, they're like, your crazy hippie religion, and then he's like, I'm gonna kill you.
He's like, oh, what was that?
That'd be like the real life version of like us going down to like Nimbin for a weekend and seeing one of those hippies talking about their third eye, and then they just Doctor Strange us through a million dimensions. Like, just what
did you say about reggae? It's like,
and then you just fly backwards.
It's so funny because like in that moment, well, not funny actually, I thought it was really cool. You can hear the power shift. They do this heavy bass whenever he's using the Force. Talk about this.
The sound effects. It's like
so
this low.
good.
I've never consciously thought about that other than watching this movie with the aim to review it. But the sound effects in this are just so good, and that is not one that I expected to just. It's like this low, like you can feel it in your chest. It's so good.
Really impactful, I think, and really effective.
Yeah, 100%. And then so I'll bring it back to what I was trying to say about your point there about that. Sort of being a bit disappointed, but you have so many moments like that. And then for it just to be like a little skirmish with I do like how Han comes back though.
Yeah.
Like the last scene doesn't have nothing.
No. Well, that's what I mean. There's character development there for someone like Han, which I really like. And that is satisfying. Not as satisfying for Luke. And Leia is more just like, she's a damsel, but she's not in distress. Like, she can look after herself kind of thing. But yeah, I agree. I like how like Han comes back around. You know what the most disappointing thing about the ending is for me? Oh, hit me. Luke's final drip with the yellow jacket is the best drip he has for the whole movie. He could have been wearing that the whole damn time. Yeah, he should have been wearing that shit. He looks steezed up. That was so cool. He should have been wearing that when he was getting the power converters. Yeah, he wouldn't have seemed so whiny. He would have seemed cool about it. All right, well, I got two little dot points that I want to talk about, but I just really want to sort of hit like a bit of this video where we just saw any last thoughts before we get into our verdict. Do you have any last thoughts about this? Before we get into like review-based stuff, just like silly little things you might have noticed or 100%. So basically, before we go to our verdict, I mean, spoiler, I think everyone can probably tell what I think. Just the two little tangents that I want to go on. Going back to the whole tie-in stuff with, you know, the extra additional content or movies that have been made since this original trilogy, the Clone Wars tie-in, the speaking about Anakin and all that stuff, I thought that was really cool. Sometimes, though, it is a little bit inconsistent. Like, say, for example, Kenobi doesn't recognize the droids. Yeah. How does he not recognize them? And I don't know if that has been explained away and extended canon or something like that. It probably has. But the only other thing I was going to say is that as far as, say, their character interactions and the Force, so I think the way that they handle the Force was really interesting because it's kind of like they never really explain too much of it. Like, they are very... You mean they don't talk about midichlorians in the bloodstream? I feel like, so the comparison, let's just look at the characters. You said how Leia, Han, and Luke are like, with the rescue, how they're like bouncing off of each other and interacting with each other. You can feel the chemistry here, and you can feel like they're not trying to quip their way through every single conversation and have like zingers the whole time. It just works. The dialogue, I think, between them works, and you can feel that they enjoy being around each other. So I think that that works, where it's really hard to get that in modern movies or TV shows, I think, which is something to say about just how effective this movie is at just getting us on board with the main characters, but also with the Force. I really like how there's this mysticism, but it doesn't feel like it has to explain absolutely everything about the Force in this movie. Like, you know, there's a moment where Vader's like, oh, I sense this feeling of the Force, this presence that I haven't quite felt since, and then he just fucks off. It's just like, oh, okay, well, I like how you can imply or you can connect the dots, but it doesn't have to just explicitly spell out absolutely everything about the Force in this movie. Whereas I feel like if this was made today, I feel like it would just have to spell everything out. But what about you? Couldn't agree more. I guess one thing now, this is where I've sort of put a couple notes. Well, this one's definitely nitpicky, but
because it's definitely something you can just overlook and just enjoy the movie 100%. But I still don't understand why those two dudes don't shoot 3PO and R2-D2 out of the sky at the start of the movie. They see a pod escape and they're like, there's no life forms. They know.
Why not shoot it anyway? We're not going to miss this bullet.
Yeah. Also, robots. Like if I was on that, I would be like, yeah, there's no life forms. Why are you mentioning that, you fucking idiot? There's probably a robot in this room right now. Like, why don't we have tech to scan for that? I don't know. That's something that. But also, what world would we live in if they did shoot 3PO and R2-D2 out of the sky just then? We wouldn't have this movie. So it's a silly little nitpick, but I just sort of, it's immediately caught me as soon as I watched it. I was
funny.
looking at the screen and I was like, shoot it. Like, shoot them.
It's so funny that you were caught up on that, because I actually had a very similar thought about that exact same scene, but I actually thought it was clever how this is a movie released in 1977, and they're thinking so far ahead about, we'll just use this terminology of like, detecting a life form on this escape pod. I'm like, that's actually really forward thinking, because there wouldn't be any technology or anything like that back then. So the fact that they could differentiate that in a movie, in this sci-fi movie, that feels very forward thinking to me. But I totally see where you're coming from as well.
Yeah, where I was just like, hey,
that sucks.
Robots, you pilot things with robots all the time. But yeah, and then I guess the only other thing that I sort of had from this movie that didn't really fit neatly in a review setting was I know there's 100 spin-off shows and movies, and there probably is a bit on this in maybe one of like the Rebels TV shows or something, but I wanted so much more from the Mos Eisley Cantina. Like I would love like a show that just revolves around the criminals and scum and villainy that come in and out of that place. You could do it like a Sunny in Philadelphia. Like you just follow the bartenders and their adventures with them. You know what I mean?
That's such a good idea.
Like just do it like Sunny in Philadelphia. We get attached to like the main gang, and like you could even do the same intro credit, like, you know, where the Force is silly, the Force is dumb, and then the intro credit is the gang gets choked out by Darth Vader. You know, like just
stop
and then
the
like,
recording. We're going straight to Disney HQ and we're pitching this idea right now. It's so good.
As soon as we got into that world and as soon as we hit Mos Eisley, obviously I knew what was coming, but just even looking at the characters around, the design, it's some of the most rich character design in this movie, because I guess for the rest of it you're following mainly, you know, Rebels or Empire. In this, you've got all these, like, you got a werewolf guy and you got all these crazy aliens that I don't think we'll really see again until we go to Jabba the Hutt's palace.
No.
But like, this was just such a cool scene for me, and I was like, damn, why do they make so many movies and series about stuff I personally don't care about? Do this. This would be perfect.
I love that Kenobi is just like, he's a Jedi, and Jedi are notoriously at this point in the universe meant to be hidden or extinct, and he's just like in the middle of this fucking popping off bar, and he just lights his lightsaber, cuts someone's arm off, and it's like, no big deal. He doesn't give a fuck. He's not even trying to hide.
Also, something else that strikes me is he does the famous Jedi mind trick.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever thought about it until now, but they really don't utilize that trick in future movies that well.
It's just that one time.
Yeah, it's just like, that is a great trick. I think they sort of explain it only works on people that are sort of dumb. There's so many dumb people.
Yeah.
You can brainwash people. Anyway, okay, let's start wrapping this up.
Should we start wrapping up?
yeah, let's start wrapping this up. Lennon, we'll start with you. We've already sort of made your opinion clear, but what did you think about this on a rewatch? Did it hold up?
Yeah, so I definitely think it does. I think that it's a bit clunky, it's a bit rough around the edges, and I think that it does. Well, I was going to say it looks like a product of its time, but it really doesn't. Like
it looks so good for its time.
It's shot really well. I love the colors, which you can't see. I love the sounds. I love the design of the, like, you know, the costumes, the setting. Just the idea of a fucking lightsaber is just so revolutionary. I just think it's awesome. But the fact that I could really notice on this rewatch that the pace of this movie is done so masterfully, where, you know, it's a bit slow at the start, it's a bit slow at the end, but in the middle, where everything is just happening, it's just like, you know, it's like, oh fuck, we're in a dogfight with the TIE fighters. Oh shit, now we're in a tractor beam. Oh shit, now we should get the stormtroopers up here and steal their uniforms. Oh shit, we need to rescue the princess. Oh shit, let's pretend that Chewie's a prisoner. And then it just keeps going and going and going. And it doesn't feel exhausting. So I think that it's really entertaining. Is it the best Star Wars movie? I don't think it is, but I definitely think it holds up today. What about you, Hesher?
I could not agree more. I think it definitely holds up. Everything about it, because I was sort of going into this again, as I said earlier, I was going into this trying to think like this is the only movie that exists, and then I'm going into this completely fresh slated, But even if I was to pick this movie up for the first time today, I think there's so many things that are just endearing and quaint, and like I love the design, I love the universe that you're sort of thrust into. I think the biggest thing that sort of like resonated with me again for a second time, I guess, is just how much this universe feels full. Does that make sense? Like how much this universe just feels like the characters work great together. The costumes all make sense for where these characters are in their lives and what side of this intergalactic war they're on, and even just the sets or the different planets that we visit, everything just looks great. And I do love that gritty, almost away from like the clean, pristine like Star Trek universe. Like I love that gritty sort of space universe that these guys exist in. I think on a rewatch, this is amazing. There's obviously some like clunky bits. Yeah, sure, we've talked on that. But I don't think any of that really makes me not enjoy even the clunkiest bits of this. Even Luke at his most whiny and twinky are thoroughly enjoyable. I think that's the main, and in a fictional world where there's no sequels, I would want to see more from this universe. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now that's famous last words, because now we've got maybe a bit too much, but but I think the takeaway is this is aged beautifully, I think.
Yeah.
Cool. As always, that's our little thoughts on A New Hope. Hopefully we've added something new to the internet for this, half a millennia old movie, this rune from the past. Probably not.
Probably not.
We came up with a Sunny in Philadelphia Mos Eisley bit, so that's worth some money somewhere.
Actually, yeah, that's a fucking banger.
and no one if anyone steals that, we've got the posting date on this, and we will sue. We'll sue you into the fucking dirt. But yeah, make sure to stick around next week, because next week we are going on to the sequel, and arguably, a lot of people say this is the best Star Wars movie of all time, The Empire Strikes Back.
I can't fucking wait.
Yeah, I'm busting at the seam and busting my pants. Anyway, catch you guys.
Bye.
Yippee.